The deadliest winter the valley had ever seen had arrived, and on the third night of the blizzard, Richard Hartley was freezing to death.
James, open the door, please.
His voice cracked with cold. The wood merchant who once sold fuel to the whole valley now had nothing left to burn. The door swung inward, and a wall of warmth rolled out into the storm. James Reeves stood there, silhouetted against a fire-lit room.
You have heat. How? The whole valley is frozen solid.
Get inside before the wind kills you. I'll explain.
Richard stumbled across the threshold. The heat inside felt like a living thing, chasing the frost from his bones.
There's no wood left in the valley. I've sold my last cord. How are you still burning a fire?
It isn't wood, but the story of what it is started before the first snow.
It began months earlier, on a spring day when James Reeves noticed a strange black seam running through the rock on his own hillside. James knelt beside the dark band, running his fingers over its glossy surface, his heart hammering.
This is coal. Real, honest-to-goodness coal. I've read about it, but never held it.
He chipped a piece free with his knife. The black lump gleamed wet in the spring sun, smelling like old earth.
Mary, come see what I found.
His wife Mary walked up the hillside, wiping her hands on her apron, a weary look on her face.
James, that's just a black streak in the rock. You've been digging in dirt all morning.
It's coal, Mary. Look at it. This burns hotter and longer than any stack of wood.
Coal? Like they burn in cities? We don't know the first thing about that.
I know enough, and it's on our land. We'll never be cold again.
He filled a sack with the black chunks and carried it down to the house, Mary following in silence. That evening, James lit the black lumps in the stove, and the heat rose faster than any wood fire.
It's burning like a blacksmith's forge. I've never felt such warmth from so little.
And it'll burn all night. No more getting up to feed logs every hour.
By morning, the house was still warm, and the coal glowed red beneath a thin coat of ash. Within days, the whole valley knew about James Reeves' rock fire in the town square. Folks clustered in groups, whispering loudly enough for him to hear.
The man's lost his mind, digging holes and burning dirt. He's nothing but a dirt burner.
Richard Hartley, the wood merchant, laughed loudest, his cronies joining in. Even the common folk shook their heads, mocking the folly of burning stone. But James Reeves ignored them, heading back to his hillside to dig more of his black gold. James worked the seam daily, his pick ringing against the hill, the black pile growing higher.
You haven't rested in weeks, but I see it now. That coal is a godsend.
We need to stockpile. Winters here can bury a family. This is our insurance.
While neighbors split wood, James hauled sack after sack of coal into the lean-to.
This warmth will never go out. Not if he keeps digging.
One morning, frost laced the window. The air felt thin, holding the promise of snow. The townsfolk filled their woodsheds, scoffing at the Reeves mountain of black rock.
Let them laugh. I'll be warm when their wood runs out.
The animals grew thick coats, and the old-timers tasted snow in the wind. James stood beside his towering coal pile, knowing he had enough to survive whatever came. The first snow fell in October, thick and wet, burying the valley under a silence that felt like a warning. By November, the Reeves chimney pumped steady smoke, while neighbors burned through their wood piles twice as fast. Richard Hartley saw his chance, doubling the price of split logs, stacking coins as his stock dwindled.
A cold winter is good for business. Let the dirt burner dig his holes.
But the cold stayed, and the snow didn't melt. Woodsheds that had been full in autumn now echoed empty.
We've gone through 3 cords already. If this doesn't break soon, we won't make it to Christmas.
Thomas Bell stared at his last stack of logs, the axe feeling heavier with every swing. Inside his cabin, his wife Ellen wrapped the children in every blanket they owned, the fireplace eating wood faster than he could split. James Reeves walked his property line, feeling the heat still radiating from his stone walls, his coal pile barely touched.
I knew they'd need it, but I can't force them to see what's right under my feet.
Richard saw his profits slipping. In the general store, he leaned close, voice dripping with false concern.
That black rock gives off a poisonous vapor. Burn it, and you'll wake up dead. Mark my words.
The rumor spread like frost on a window pane, and suddenly no one wanted to touch the Reeves coal.
It's been burning in my house for weeks. Mary and I are fine. There's no poison.
But the townsfolk drew back, remembering the wood merchant's warning.
They're afraid, James. We have to show them, not just tell. Invite someone inside to see.
That afternoon, Mary trudged through the snow to the Bell cabin.
It's just like Mary said. No smell, no smoke inside. And the heat, it's a miracle.
Ellen told her husband, who told another, and the lie began to crack.
Fools, they'll see. One house burning coal won't save them when the real storm hits.
Inside the dark cut of the hillside, James swung his pick deeper than ever, chasing the black vein. The rock above groaned. He froze, heart slamming against his ribs, then lunged backward. A slab of shale crashed down, sealing the entrance. Dust choked the air, and for a moment, there was only blackness.
James? Oh God, James, answer me.
I am here. I am all right. The beam held. Just give me a minute to dig out.
You could have been buried. This is madness, James. The coal isn't worth your life.
I know the risk, but look. Look at what the cave-in uncovered. Heaven help me. Look.
The lantern light raced along a wall of solid coal, 3 feet thick at least, vanishing into the mountain.
It's endless. James, there's more coal here than all the wood in the valley. It's a fortune.
But with that knowledge came a heavier weight. More coal meant more danger, and more eyes watching. The last log in the Bell's hearth crumbled to ash, and a cold deeper than snow settled over the room.
Thomas, the children are blue. Please, there must be something.
Thomas Bell wrapped himself in a frozen coat and stepped into the wind, knowing there was only one place left to go. At the Reeves' door, he hesitated, shame burning hotter than any coal.
James, I know I mocked you. I am sorry. But my children are freezing.
James looked at the man who once led the laughter. His jaw tightened, but the cold outside was no place for a grudge.
Wait here.
He pressed a burlap sack heavy with coal into Thomas's trembling hands.
How can I repay you? I was a fool.
James just nodded. The coal would speak for itself when the valley went dark. Richard's warehouse sat empty, and his own woodshed held barely enough for a week. The cold crept through the walls of his fine house.
I won't burn dirt like some pauper. The thaw will come. It always does.
His wife shivered by the empty grate, but he refused to look at her. James Reeves walked through the snow to the Hartley house, a small sack of coal under his arm.
I can let you have it for what you charged a cord of oak. No profit to me.
I'd rather freeze than owe my warmth to a rock digger. Take your dirt and go.
James didn't argue. He left the sack on the stoop and walked away.
He'll see. Come January, he'll be buried in his hole, and I'll be selling wood again.
But the silence in the house grew louder, and the frost on the window thickened.
The cold will break. It has to. And then they'll all remember whose wood kept them alive before this madness.
Word spread quietly that the Reeves coal saved the Bells. That evening, 2 more families appeared, faces pinched with cold and shame.
They're too proud to beg, but their children are freezing. Richard's lies are killing them.
Mary didn't ask James. She went to the coal pile and began sorting the lumps into smaller sacks.
Take only what you need. If Hartley gets word, he'll twist it into another poison rumor.
We'll tell no one. God bless you, Mary.
That week, Mary became the valley's silent provider, moving through the snow in the dark hours.
James built the pile, but I'll build the bridge. Pride or no pride, no one will freeze.
The other families saw my fire. They know. I told them to come quietly.
There's enough for all. The seam is deeper than they know.
And so the coal began to flow in secret. A lifeline hidden from the merchant who would rather see the valley freeze than admit he was wrong. The storm that would be remembered for 100 years fell upon the valley without mercy, its winds screaming like a dying animal. Within hours, every woodshed was buried, and what little remained inside was already burning in desperate hearths. By the second day, families burned furniture, floorboards, anything that would catch, and still the cold pressed harder.
Mary, look at the pile. We've barely made a dent. There's enough here for every house in the valley.
He spread a rough sketch on the table, tracing the coal seam's path deep under the hill, farther than any timberline could reach.
This one seam holds more fuel than all the woods they've been cutting for 20 years.
Then we can't let them freeze. Richard's pride doesn't matter. Our neighbors are dying.
The third day brought no relief. The wind sharpened, and the valley held its breath, waiting for something to break.
They called me a dirt burner. Now the dirt is the only thing that will save them.
The worthless-looking hillside held more heat than the entire valley's forests combined, and only one man knew it. In the Hartley house, the last log crumbled to embers, and the cold pressed in like a closing fist.
It was supposed to break. Every winter does. This is different. This is ending.
Across the valley, a thick column of smoke rose from the Reeves chimney, promising warmth he had mocked.
He burns dirt, and his house is warm. I burn my pride, and my hands are frozen.
Outside the window, the small sack James had left months ago sat buried in snow, untouched.
I can't go to him. I made my choice, but she didn't.
The frost on the window thickened, and still he did not move, staring at the distant smoke.
Admit it, you were wrong. The dirt is better. He was right. Say it, then go.
His hand went to his coat, trembling. The cold was no longer a warning, but a sentence. Richard stood, the silence louder than any storm, and took one step toward the door. Despite the blizzard, Mary pulled her shawl tight and stepped into the white fury with a sack of coal. At the Bell house, she pounded the door until Thomas appeared, exhausted.
No more secrets. If Richard comes after me, so be it. You'll have heat.
Mary, Hartley will turn the town against you.
Let him. My conscience won't freeze.
She pressed a sack into Ellen's hands, then moved to the Crawfords and Lees, repeating the act.
God bless you, Mary. We won't forget this.
By evening, 3 chimneys spilled smoke that had no business burning in this deadly winter. Inside those homes, children held their hands before coal fires, their shivers finally stilling. When Mary returned, her shawl was ice, but her gaze was steady. She had ignited more than coal. James came in from the blizzard, shaking snow from his coat, and found Mary missing. When she returned, her shawl frozen stiff, he stood before the fire, his jaw tight.
You gave away our coal without telling me? After everything they said?
They said things their children didn't. I won't let them die for your pride.
The words hung in the air, stoked hotter than the coal in the grate.
She's right. But why does it feel like they've stolen something from me? You made me a fool. I dug that coal. They'll say Hartley was right all along.
If Hartley's lies keep them from warmth, then his opinion is worthless. Ours isn't.
He turned away, fists clenched. The fire cast his shadow long against the wall.
She knows the cost. But I can't let go of the mockery so easily. Not yet.
The storm howled, but inside the cabin, the silence was worse. Then Mary spoke, her voice low.
The Bell's fire went out again. Thomas is breaking the furniture.
James's jaw tightened. He grabbed his coat and a heavy sack of coal.
I need to see it with my own eyes. Then I'll know what I have to do.
He plunged into the white fury, the coal sack over his shoulder. At the Bell door, he kicked it open. The children were blue, huddled in a corner.
No more. I'll not let pride be their killer.
He pressed the sack into Thomas's hands, then went back for more. All night, he delivered coal. Thomas wept. Ellen clutched his hand. James's eyes were hard, but his heart had shifted. By morning, he stood at his coal pile, loading another sack. The dirt would speak for them all. Richard's wife lay still under every blanket they owned, her breathing shallow. He couldn't feel his own hands.
If I don't go now, we're dead. Pride will be my coffin.
He wrapped a frozen coat around himself and pushed into the white hell outside. The snow swallowed him to the waist. He fell, crawled, fell again, the wind screaming his failures. Ahead, the orange glow of the Reeves window cut through the storm like a held lantern. He reached the door and collapsed, pounding weakly with fists that were turning white.
James, I was wrong. Please, let us in.
The door swung open. James caught him before he hit the ground and dragged him toward the fire.
I'll pay anything. Just don't let her freeze. I was a fool, James.
James didn't speak. He pressed a fresh sack of coal into Richard's shaking hands. Word of Richard's collapse spread faster than the storm. The proud merchant had been broken, and the valley took note. Richard stood beside the Reeves coal pile, now loading sacks for the Crawfords, his hands steady but his eyes downcast. Mary weighed each sack with the same care, her eyes never leaving the scales.
I never thought I'd see Hartley humbled, but I am grateful James found it in his heart.
But the seam did not thin. The black wall in the hill remained as deep as ever, feeding the valley's fires. The cabin became a refuge. Families gathered by the glowing stove, steam rising from patched coats.
I was worse than a fool. I was a liar. And you all saved my wife.
We all made mistakes, but the coal is not ours to hoard. It belongs to the valley.
We're going to make it. The dirt they mocked will keep us alive until spring.
And as the blizzard screamed its final fury, the Valley of Coal kept its people alive. The black rock outburning the cold. The winds died on the 7th day. A stillness heavier than the storm settled over the valley. James stood on the hillside. The coal seam exposed again. Steam rose from the rock in the weak sun.
Not a single house lost. Not one. They all made it because of what you found.
They made it because we chose to share. The coal was always there, but the choice was harder.
The river began to crack, and the first patches of mud appeared along the roads. The winter was breaking. From the cabin, the Reeves watched smoke still drift from a dozen chimneys, each one a debt to the black seam.
The whole valley knows now. No one will call you a dirt burner again.
Let them call me what they want. The coal did the talking.
The deadliest winter in living memory had met a fuel that never froze, and the valley had survived. In the quiet that followed, the true measure of what lay under James's land began to weigh on every mind. On the first clear morning, the town square filled. Faces once full of mockery now carried shame and gratitude.
I was the worst among you. I spread lies that could have buried families. I came to you, James, near dead, and you saved me.
A heavy silence fell, broken by a single voice. Thomas Bell.
He gave us coal when we had nothing. My children would be dead without him. We all owe him our lives.
Murmurs of agreement rippled through the square. Hands that once pointed in scorn now reached out in apology.
I didn't do it for praise. I did it because a man can't watch his neighbor freeze.
The seam is not ours alone. It belongs to this valley. We'll share it as long as it lasts.
I'll never sell wood again. From now on, I'll help you mine it, if you'll have me.
Welcome to the dirt, Richard. Let's get to work.
And on the hillside, the black seam stood as a monument to a truth the valley had nearly learned too late. A week after the thaw, a team of surveyors came, drawn by a rumor of endless coal. They measured and traced the black band with a red arrow of their own, their astonishment growing.
The surveyor said this seam could heat the valley for 100 winters. It runs deeper than any route.
So, it's not just a pile of dirt. It's a legacy. We can build something lasting.
Not just a fuel, but a future. We'll mine it slow, keep the mountain whole.
Soon, every family had a stake, and the hill became a symbol of the valley's stubborn will to survive. The worthless-looking hillside was now the most precious ground in the county.
We'll never be cold again, and neither will they. That's the real treasure.
Thus, the dirt burners' discovery became the cornerstone of a community that learned warmth can come from the blackest stone. The coal would outlast them all, a black promise that the deadliest winter would never truly win. Spring deepened, and the sound of hammers echoed across the valley as a new meeting hall rose near the coal seam. James and Mary watched the roof beam set, their hands resting on a cart of coal that had become a symbol of survival.
A school for the children, heated by the same dirt they mocked.
It's not dirt anymore. It's life.
In every home, the black rock glowed. The memory of the blizzard softened with each warm evening. The Bell children played outside, cheeks pink with warmth, not cold. Their laughter, a proof of what the Reeves had done. Richard passed James on the road, a pick on his shoulder, and raised his hat. No words were needed.
We can finally rest, James. The seam will outlast us both.
He drew her closer, the warm hum of the stove filling the quiet home. The valley, once a tomb of winter, now breathed with a stillness that felt like peace. The first snow of the next winter fell gently, not in fury, but a quiet blanket over the valley. Through a frost-laced window, a child pressed his palm to the glass, marveling at the white world outside.
She used to be afraid of the snow. Now she watches it like a painting.
In the homes across the valley, coal stoves hummed, their black lumps glowing like eternal embers.
The snow can fall as deep as it wants. We'll be warm until the world ends.
It's a gift we almost threw away. I am glad we didn't.
Inside, the child's hand finally pulled away from the cold glass and returned to the warmth of the coal fire. The coal did not crackle like wood. It whispered a deeper promise. You will never be cold again. Outside, the black seam stood stark against the white, the red arrow now a badge of honor. And in the heart of the deadliest winter's memory, the dirt burner's legacy burned eternal.